Hey guys, how's it going today? I'm here with Brent. He's also a Canadian, and actually I met him. It's a funny story, but he was watching one of our YouTube videos and he shot me a comment, and just so happens that he was living not too far from my house. So we met up today. Brent, nice to meet you.
Yes, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, buddy. I have a few questions for you today.
Sure.
First one, what made you decide to travel to the Philippines for the first time to come visit?
Well, I've been coming back and forth to the Philippines probably for 20 years, mostly to Manila, and I met my wife, and she's from Bohol. And when I went to Bohol, we really liked it, and so we've been coming back here for quite a number of years.
Okay.
And it's great in the wintertime. It beats living in the winter wonderland in Vancouver.
And the cold.
In the cold and freezing, and so we thought we'd spend the winters here.
Yeah, okay.
And then go back to Canada and when winter's over.
Yeah.
And that's sort of what we've been doing.
Okay.
And
have you traveled more around the Philippines? Like, have
I've
you
been
to
pretty
other-
much everywhere in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Been to Baguio, been to Cebu, Tagaytay, and a few other places.
Okay.
Batangas, yeah, pretty much traveled quite a bit around.
Okay.
But I like Bohol the best.
Yes.
The people are friendly. It's just a great place.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very laid back, and that's what I like.
Yeah. Good stuff. Okay. All right. Very interesting about Bohol, guys. To hear other people's stories, why they decided to move here. Brent, second question for you. Can you give me some of the challenges you faced coming here to the Philippines as a foreigner, whether traveling here or moving here? Can you tell me some of those challenges?
Well, the main challenges is if you're used to westernized types of food, vegetables, and things that you used to at home, a lot of those things you can't get here, and you have to face the fact that you're going to have to find an alternative, or maybe ship it here before you come.
Okay.
But my biggest challenge was I like certain types of vegetables, broccoli, cauliflower, and asparagus, and you can't really get that in any small town here. If you're in the big cities like Manila or any larger city, maybe Cebu or Tagbilaran, you can get limited amounts,
Yes.
but not like you can in Canada.
Yes.
And that's probably been my biggest challenge for me.
Yeah.
Most other things now you can get through online shopping, which has been a big improvement. You couldn't get that like 15 or 20 years ago, but in the last few years they have online shopping like an Amazon, and you can get just about anything delivered to your door within about 6 or 7 days.
Yes.
And I mean anything.
Yeah. That's
So,
through Shopee and Lazada, right?
Shopee and Lazada,
Yeah.
yeah, those are the big ones.
Yeah.
And so it's actually been kind of a godsend to be able to order all that.
Yes, yes.
And,
Yeah.
it's been great.
Yeah. So it is true. With food here, I talked about it in my other videos. Depending on if you're living in the province or the city, it's literally black and white. Like Brent was saying, if you're living in the bigger cities, the access to some of the foreign food, foreign items are a little easier to get. That's not to say the prices are going to be that cheap, though. You will pay a premium for getting those products here. We're in the province, so it's almost impossible to get any of those foreign items. So that's definitely, I agree, that's a big challenge.
Now, to give you a recent example, onions have gone up to 800 pesos per kilo. That's the equivalent to like $8 or $9 Canadian
per pound.
Per pound.
Per pound, yeah.
Whereas at home you can get a pound of onions for, I don't know, $1.25.
Yes.
So it's like 4 times the cost.
Yes.
Here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the price is probably manipulated here,
Yes.
but so not everything in terms of your vegetables is a lot cheaper.
Yes.
Certain items are a lot more money than at home.
Yeah. So not only foreign food, but also
Yeah.
the Filipino food here, vegetables, fruits, even if they're grown here.
And those are locally grown.
They are locally grown,
I
yes.
think most of them are grown in Mindanao.
Yes. Yeah.
So it becomes very expensive.
Yeah.
Because everybody uses onions in just about everything they cook. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's very interesting, guys. Again, some challenges people face here. Obviously, we eat multiple times a day, so that's definitely something. If you're coming here to the Philippines, expect that prices aren't going to be that cheap for you guys.
And the other thing you have to think of, everything goes on Philippine time. Don't be in a hurry to get something processed, because it just doesn't happen.
Yes.
If you wanted to get a driver's license here, plan all day.
Yes.
Not like at home where you go into the motor vehicle branch and you get a new license in 15 minutes.
Yes.
Here it's like an all-day process.
It is, yeah.
So those are some of the major challenges, and to find carpenters and things that some days they show up, some days they don't. In Canada, everybody shows up on a rainy day. They put their rain gear on and they go to work.
Yeah.
Where in the Philippines, if it's raining, nobody shows up.
Yes.
So those are some of the challenges that I found difficult to deal with.
Yeah, I agree with that. Great one, Brent. Thank you for that. All right, Brent, thanks again for that question. Next one for you. What do you like the most about the Philippines? Living here, traveling here, what's something that you really appreciate here in the Philippines?
Well, the thing that I really like about the Philippines is that people are so friendly. They seem to be happy all the time, and a lot of people don't. They have nothing, but they're still, the Philippines is one of the happiest countries in the whole world. And doesn't matter where you go, people will go out of their way to help you and find stuff for you. It's just they're a happy. It's a happy country.
It is.
And I believe it was even voted the happiest country in the world
Really?
recently.
Okay, I didn't know that.
And the pace is slower, and you have to get used to that. Once you get used to it, you got to go with the flow, and then everything's just great.
Yes. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, it's true. The people here are awesome. Even if you come here alone, let's say you come here, you have no wife yet, you're retired, you're coming to check the area out, check out what island you want to live on, let's say, you're planning on living here, you won't be lonely. You get out there, you talk, you can go buy your bread and have a 30-minute conversation with the person selling you bread. So it's great for that. The people here love to talk, love to hear your story. So.
And they love to know where you're from.
And they love to know where you're from. Yeah, I agree with that, Brent. Good one. All right, Brent, thanks again for that other question. Next one, this is a good one. So the cost of living here compared to the cost of living in Canada, as far as your lifestyle here, your living situation, how does the price compare to Canada, to the Philippines with things?
Well, things are definitely cheaper. Your rent will be cheaper. Transportation's cheaper. Medical coverage is definitely cheaper, and everybody should have medical coverage when they come or buy something here. Certain things are a lot cheaper, like the rent and all that.
Yeah.
But you have to understand that not everything's cheaper here, and it depends what lifestyle you really want. Do you want to live a Western lifestyle with all the Western amenities and foods? Then you will be paying a lot more.
Yes.
And some people think, well, you can retire abroad for like $1,000. Well, sure you can, but you won't be doing much.
Yeah.
Because you still, if you want to go on a little side trip here and there, or you want to go for a really decent dinner, Western style dinner, you will pay for it.
Yeah.
And if you're in the provinces, it'll be less. If you're in the big cities, it'll be maybe only 20% less than back home.
Yeah.
Like Makati or parts of Manila or Cebu. In those areas, you will pay a lot more for your food and dinners if you want to go out and entertainment.
Yeah.
But not as much as Canada. But it just depends in what level you'll be comfortable at.
Yes.
And sure, if you just want to exist and not do anything and live in a box and go nowhere and do nothing, then yeah, you can live here.
Yeah.
But if you want some entertainment and you want to do a little traveling and you want to go out here and there, then you better plan for at least $1,500 to $2,000 a month.
Yes. Yeah.
Now I know a lot of Filipinos, they live here living a lot less, but they don't do any traveling. They don't go anywhere.
They don't eat at the restaurants.
They don't. They eat basically at home.
Yeah.
And sure you can do that.
Yeah.
But being from a Western country, I like to go out for dinners, and I like to travel.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have to pay for it.
Yeah, exactly.
And a lot of people come here, they don't think about medical, and you better have some medical in place.
Yes.
Because if you get sick, it could wipe you out.
Yeah.
The same as it can in the United States or Canada.
Yeah.
So get medical in place.
Yeah. like you said at first, some of the medical is cheaper here. I mean, if we want to go into dentists and medications, some of that stuff is a little cheaper than back home.
Yes.
But there is no coverage here, so that's where it
Yeah.
differs from Canada. We have coverage out there that covers 70%, 90%. So yes, like Brent says, if you are coming out here, if it's just a travel, obviously get your traveler's insurance. If you plan on living here, definitely have some sort of coverage for any serious things. I mean, we hear horror stories about accidents out here all the
Yeah.
time. Foreigners on the bikes and stuff.
Now,
It's,
a foreigner can get Phil Health, but people don't realize Phil Health only covers about 20% of the cost.
yeah.
Look at Blue Cross or some other kind of form of medical insurance that will cover you 100%. So if something happens to you, you're not financially wiped out.
Yes. Yeah.
And people need to really, really think hard about that.
Yeah. Okay. So like you said, back to lifestyle. If you want even somewhere comparable to the lifestyle you have back in Canada over here, you're not living here on a budget. You're going to
No.
be spending 2,000, 3,000 Canadian a month, and that's not even going all the way. You're not doing too much traveling. I mean, out of the province. That's just you know, restaurants, getting some good quality food that you miss from back home. Maybe taking a trip around the island with the family. But yes, that's true. With the lifestyle, that's a big one, Brent. Thank you for that. So, guys, as we all know, the culture here is a lot different than obviously back in Canada, back in the United States. Brent, what do you think of the culture here? And how did you adapt to it here?
Well, the biggest difference is birthdays, Christmas, and other types of special events are really big here in the Philippines.
Yes.
More so, I think, than they are at home,
Yes.
especially birthdays.
Yes.
It's a really big deal here. It's very important to them. And back home, we might have a birthday cake and pizza. Here, it will be a much bigger deal. There'll be a roast pig involved. And there's going to be a big cake. There's going to be lots of people
Yes.
coming to the birthday party. Lots of different types of dishes. And it will be probably 10 times the event than it would be back in Canada.
It's like not just immediate family coming to the
Yeah.
birthdays. It's a normal thing that you invite the neighbors.
Could
and,
be neighbors, cousins,
second cousins,
third cousins,
yes.
mountain people. It could be everybody.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And so it's a much bigger deal.
Yeah, but they are Catholic here. If you guys don't know, they are Catholic, majority Catholic here in the Philippines. So they do share a lot of our traditions, beliefs as back home. So as far as that stuff goes, like the church and that, they're quite devoted here. But like Brent says, the celebrations, you know, birthdays, anniversaries, death anniversaries, they're overkill, which isn't a bad thing. But it can be sometimes overwhelming if it's your first time.
It can be overwhelming, and for some people, maybe that cost is well out of their budget.
Yes, yeah.
And you've got to be prepared for it.
Yes, yeah, that's true. That's a good one, guys. There you go. All right, guys, down to one of the best questions here. Brent, this one's for you. What advice would you give to a foreigner, someone planning on moving here maybe a couple of years or even retiring here? What advice would you give to that person?
Well, before you decide to move here, come to the Philippines for 3 to 6 months. Travel around a little bit, see where you want to live, and see whether or not you like the Philippine lifestyle. You can handle not having some of your luxury items that you're used to at home, and that includes food. It could be chocolate, could be anything, and see whether or not you can adapt to it.
Yes.
And if you can't adapt to it, then probably the Philippines is not for you.
Yes.
But come here and get the feel for the Philippines, see what the culture is like, the people, and everything else, and then make your decision before you decide to pack up and come.
Yeah.
Because you might find yourself going home earlier than you thought.
Yeah. There's so many countries in the world. It's not necessarily that Philippines is the right thing for you guys. I know there's a lot of YouTube videos out there talking about Philippines and all that. It really comes down to Thailand and the Philippines. I don't want to bring Thailand into this, but those are two countries that a lot of expats, a lot of retirees like to retire in, countries they want to retire in. But definitely, like Brent says, do your traveling around here. Don't just pick one spot. When it comes down to purchasing land or buying a house, I mean, you can get decent rental properties here, right? For like good prices.
You can probably get a decent house for maybe anywhere between $200 to $300 a month.
Yeah.
And then your internet is not much different than at home, a little bit less money.
Yeah.
If you want a fast internet,
Yeah.
the phones are reasonable.
Yes.
They're not expensive for phone service.
Yeah.
As well as the phones are not expensive if you needed one.
Yeah.
Electricity's maybe a little bit more, but really not an excessive amount.
Yeah.
And so for your basic needs, it's definitely cheaper.
Yes.
It's what you want to spend after that. Do you want to do lots of traveling?
Yeah.
Can you handle eating Philippine food and not eating what you're used to at home?
Yeah.
If you can't, then you can live cheaper. If you want some of the Western amenities and food, then you have to plan for it.
Yeah. And would you recommend someone who is used to the Western way of life and they kind of want to live that same Western way of life here in the Philippines, would you recommend more of the city or the province life?
Oh, definitely the cities.
Cities
You
first.
want to be in a major city.
Yes.
Because any isolated province area will not have anything you may want.
And you sacrifice. You have the beauty of the mountains and
Yeah.
the beach, the oceans, and the quiet, but you'll sacrifice definitely.
But there is really nice areas. Like for one, my favorite spot is Panglao Island. Now Panglao is only 15 minutes from the Tagbilaran major city.
Yeah, that's here in Bohol.
Yeah, that's right, in the island of Bohol. And if you're living in Panglao, you could take a little tricycle or get on the bus for I don't know, $1,
Yep.
and you'll be in the city, do all your shopping, and then they have a store there in the Island City Mall that has a lot of Western food. They have a whole section of Western food. You can buy whatever you want,
Yeah.
and then take it back to your house, so you can still have the best of both worlds.
Yeah, there you go.
And that may work for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So the moral of this is, stay close to a big city
Yeah.
that you can get to get the stuff, the types of food that you're used to back home.
Yes, yeah. And for rentals here, unlike back in Canada where you have to sign 1 year, 2 year leases, there's sometimes no leases here. You could rent a house for 3 months, move to another island, get a house for 3 months.
You could.
There's nothing really,
You
you're not
could,
really...
but if you find a place you want to stay at, I suggest you sign a 1 year lease so that you're not thrown out.
Yes, that's true. That's good. There you go, guys. All right, guys, we're down to our last question for Brent. This one's a little personal. We'll see how he answers this one, but do you plan on living here full-time forever, never leaving the country, or do you plan on returning home sometimes in the future?
No, I plan on staying here for 5 months.
Okay.
We come in October and go home in March.
So 5 months every year you would come here?
Every year, 5 months, and just for the winter.
Okay.
And then go back home.
Winter, guys. He's from Vancouver. He's talking about winters. Oh my goodness.
This year was a bad
Yeah,
winter.
it was this
really bad
It
winter
was
in
bad
Vancouver.
this year. Yeah, it was a lot worse than that.
But I like the sunshine and the warmth, and that's why we spent 5 months here.
Okay, here you go.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Good to know.
But I still love Vancouver in the summers there.
Yes, yeah, beautiful country, Canada.
Yeah.
I mean, you get the best of both worlds.
That's
yes.
what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go, guys. Well, Brent from Canada, living here in Bohol, Philippines. I hope you guys really got some good information. I hope you enjoyed the video with Brent, guys. Thanks again, Brent.
Thank you.
Ciao, guys. Take care.